right, so one of the most common questions I get from you guys, and I really appreciate all the emails, is how do I play modern songs on the banjo? So this week I thought, you know what? Challenge accepted. We are going to learn Nothing Breaks Like a Heart by Mark Ronson and Miley Cyrus. This is going to give us a great chance to try some new chords and some new techniques we might not always see in old time. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's just get right into it. All right, so let's talk tuning real quick. So I'm in standard open G tuning, but I'm actually tuned up a half a step, and then I'm capoed at the second. This is the same as just capoing at the 3. I just find it a little easier to play capoed at the second. I'm going to refer to the chords as if I was just in open G tuning with no capo. I find that a little easier, and you'll be able to just use those same chord shapes no matter where you capo or how you play this. Make sense? Cool. All right, so let's start out with the intro. So if you listen to the actual version of the song, which I will link in the description, it sort of has this slow violin, Miley singing, very cinematic. However, I feel like it doesn't really work that well for the banjo, so we switch it up a little bit. And all I'm doing here, so we're going to play this E minor chord, and I'm going to use a technique that I've named the ghost hammer. I don't know if this has another name. I've never seen it talked about anywhere, but I find it really useful for songs like this. What we're going to do is our basic bum diddy rhythm, right? Where I'm just playing the 4th string here as the single note. But I'm going to add a little hammer on 3. So I'm just going to lift up my middle finger here and hammer on. So 3 and so 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and. What I actually like to do in these situations though is skip that downbeat of the 3. So I'm still hammering in, but I'm just missing, and then doing the hammer on. So I'm lifting up my finger just a slight bit before the 3rd beat, and then hammering on the end. So 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, right? And at speed, that sounds really cool. So I call that the ghost hammer. Now look, I won't point out everywhere I use this, but basically I'm using this quite a bit throughout this song. If I'm sort of hanging out and hammering on a chord, a lot of times I'm going to skip that downbeat. Okay, so we just do that for like 4 measures. And we're into our verse. And for the verse, we just have 2 chords. We've got our E minor chord and our D, and we're just back and forth between them. And this is basically a riff that will repeat 3 times for the verse. So one thing I want to point out is that if you listen to the song, the vast majority of the melody takes place in the vocal line, and the instruments are a little bit more in the background. And in old time, we typically play the melody on our instrument. So I'm basically taking little elements of the vocal line and adding them to what we're playing here. So we're doing a little more than just playing backup, and I think that sounds pretty interesting. So we start off on our E minor chord, and in the song, Miley Cyrus is sort of going up in her vocals. And so we do that same thing on the banjo. So we're just going 1, 2, and 3, 2, 1. Simple bum diddy pattern. We're just ascending on the strings. Heard you on the phone last night. Just like that, right? That's the first part. And then we're on to our D chord. And here I have a new technique. Well, it's probably not a new technique, but I don't have a good name for it. So I've named it. If you know different, please tell me in the comments. I call this the Hilltop Strum because it is the same rhythm actually as the Island Strum in ukulele. But I thought Hilltop sounded cooler for the banjo. So the Island Strum is just 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. We're doing the same thing on our banjo, just in a more claw hammer fashion. So I'm going to hold my D chord, and I'm just going to go 1. So brush stroke on 1, 2, and. So 1, 2, and. Then I hammer in, but my thumb is landing on the 3rd string. Then I pluck up on the end of 3, and then brush stroke, thumb pluck. So 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and just like that. And we play that twice, but on the second time, I'm going 1, 2, and now I do just hit that 3rd string with my index finger and do a little hammer on there. Simple, not too bad. All right, and then we're back to our E minor chord, and I do that same Hilltop Strum again. I like that name. So we're just gonna go one. But now I'm going to, on the 3, I'm gonna land with my thumb on the 2nd string. And at this point in the song, the guitar does this little fill, which we can emulate here. The way I play this is just going to be, we're going to strike, this is on the 1 of the next measure. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and now we strike the 1st string on the 2nd fret and pull off. 2, and so 1 and 2, and then we just do a little drop thumb. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th. So all together it's. You just do that twice. Cool. So that full unit then there is. And we just do that whole thing a 2nd time. So the 3rd time through, we switch things up a little bit because the vocal line switches up a little bit. So instead of doing that ascending vocal line, she is doing more like, "God all night to fall in love." And so we switch up the banjo part to match that. Yeah, it just sounds good. Gives a little variety to the banjo part. So you're going to start out with your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and slide up to the 5th. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. And when you do that, then you're going to put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and pull off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then next part of that E minor, we just go 1. So just open first, and then fret your E minor chord and play on the open 2nd fret. So all together, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Right? And then we play just the rest through that as normal. So back to our D chord, right? So I'm going to play through the entire verse one time so you know what it all sounds like put together. Next, we just have this little pre-chorus part that sounds like nothing, nothing, nothing gonna save us now. So this is the only part in the song where you sort of do have to break out of that clawhammer banjo stroke just a little bit. I feel like it's better to just match the rhythm of the vocal there. So all I'm doing, open 2nd, thumb pluck, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, thumb pluck, open 3rd, thumb pluck, 2nd fret of the 4th string, open 4th, 2nd fret of the 4th string, and we just strum our E minor chord. So it's nothing, nothing, nothing's gonna save us now. Just practice that a few times. Yeah, you'll get it. It's not too bad. In the chorus, we're going to introduce a few new chords. So in addition to our E minor and our D, now we have our G, which, you know, it's just the open strings. We've got our C, and we've got our A minor. So we start on our C chord, and we just do that basic bouncing bass note backup pattern between the 3rd and the 4th strings. I do like to turn that into a ghost hammer, so. And now we go into our A minor chord. So what I like to do is hammer on into this chord while we do that Hilltop Strum. So you can just do the regular Hilltop Strum there if you want. But I think that hammer on sounds really nice. I'm just lifting all 3 fingers and then hammering on the end of one. Cool. So it's and we're back to our E minor chord. And we just do, I'm just hanging out on the 4th string here. And we, again, emulate the voice a little bit where she sort of has this quiet, like crashing in the dark, she says. And the notes for that are just... So we just hit the 4th string fret at the 2nd fret for one bum ditty, open 4th string. And then 4th string at the 2nd fret again. So all together, it's... And we do a little fill at the end of there too. All I'm doing, really simple, I'm just hitting the 1st string at the 2nd fret. So 1 and 2 and then open 2nd. Cool. All right, so we just do that twice. So the 3rd time through, we do it just a little bit different. So we start out the same with our C to our A minor. And then we go for the Hilltop Strum on our E minor. Then to a D. Then to our G. So it's... and then I like to add a little fill here. Again, matches the vocals. So we're still in our G. So I'm just going to hit the 2nd string open. And then pull off on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And then into our C. So it's... E minor, D, G, C. And we just do one little hammer on there. And then again, we match the vocals. So she does this little hum like A minor. So I'm just going to play that through once so you can hear it slowly, just the last part of the chorus. And that is every part of the song. If you want to sort of learn more about arranging modern songs on the banjo, check the description. I'm kind of working on something new there. But otherwise, go watch the actual video to sort of get the full song structure, play along with that. That'll be really helpful. All right, see you next time.